And good evening from the Dove Newsroom. At this hour, I'm Demi DeSoto. The island territory of Puerto Rico is off the hook for its $70 billion debt note. Well, kind of. There is a hook. The Senate authorized suspension of the payments of the general obligation bond. The bill signed by President Barack Obama does create a federal oversight board with the authority to negotiate the restructuring of the debt. During the signing, the president assured the people of the island that the U.S. government stands behind them and is going to help them get back on their feet.
People of Puerto Rico need to know that they're not forgotten, that they're part of the American family, and Congress's responsiveness to this issue, even though this is not a perfect bill, at least moves us in the right direction.
The U.S. territory was just 2 days away from not meeting the obligation of a $1.9 billion bond. It remains to be seen if Puerto Rico will pay part of the general obligation debt back. Well, effective today, minimum wage increases in Oregon as new laws have to have a tiered increase for the next several years. Over 100,000 low-income Oregonians, they'll see a slight increase in their paychecks with a mandatory increase from the government. But as we asked Medford Chamber of Commerce CEO Brad Hicks on Mornings on the Dove, when he and Jason were here promoting the Red, White, and Boom show, how many of them might lose their job as a result of the increased burden to employers and loss of profits?
I know one of the immediate impacts is going to be loss of jobs. So again, when government sets wages instead of the market, in effect the government's picking winners and losers, right? Your kid might keep his or her job and my kid might lose his or her job. We've already heard from local members, I'm not going to name names, but we've heard from members who are saying, I might shut my doors, or I might employ fewer people, or I might. So there's a lot of speculation out there.
In the coming weeks, the Dove will keep close tabs on local small businesses and how they are adapting to the impacts of the mandatory measure. The increase is the first of 7 happening annually through 2022. Well, public use restrictions are being implemented beginning this weekend that increase on various Oregon Department of Forestry districts throughout the state, and they often include restriction on fireworks on ODF protected lands. And if you're celebrating by camping, there are some rules that happen in rural areas, and homes can need to be quickly evacuated. Herb Johnson has the details on what to do.
You got to have a defensible space around your home. Roofs and gutters free of debris. You check out firewise.org. That's a good website for a lot of information about protecting your home ignition zone. You know, have a good access out. Be ready. You know, have your belongings packed up. Important things, prioritize.
And let's take a look at our weather forecast now as we head into the weekend for Klamath Falls and that area. We'll see some great looking weather and sunshine, warm temperatures, low overnight. As we go to Northern California, nothing but sunshine across the board. There's the Klamath Basin with 90s and going down to the 80s. Central Oregon coast, just about the same kind of thing except a little bit of clouds. And as we move over into the Central Oregon area, some 80s and 40s overnight. And for Southern Oregon, temperatures look like it's going to be really nice and warm. If you like the 90s, mid-90s pretty much all throughout the weekend. And that's a quick look at the latest now from the Dove Newsroom. We appreciate you being with us. Start your weekday mornings off right by joining us from 6 to 9 a.m. here on Mornings on the Dove.